Don't share personal life with anyone, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say something clear, straight, and without sugarcoating. It's better to keep your personal life private, not secret but private. There's a big difference. In this world, silence is power. The less people know about your relationships, your plans, your struggles, the safer you are. Why? Because when you open up too much, you give people a weapon, and not everyone with a smile on their face has good intentions in their heart. You see, not everyone who listens wants the best for you. Some listen just to collect information, some act like they care just to feel better about their own mess, and some, they'll wait for the perfect moment to use your own story against you. I'm not saying be cold or shut off the world, but guard your peace. Let your results speak louder than your explanations. Let your actions talk, because when you keep your personal life to yourself, you stay in control. You keep your dignity, you protect your energy. Privacy is a shield, not a wall. You're not hiding, you're preserving. And in this age where everyone overshares, staying private is the ultimate power move. So, the next time you feel like opening up to someone, ask yourself this: will they still protect my story even if they're no longer in my life? If the answer is no or unsure, stay silent. Trust isn't given, it's earned, and even then, it's rare. Privacy protects peace is a phrase that captures a deep truth about human well-being in a digital and interconnected world. Privacy refers to the ability of an individual to control their personal information, thoughts, actions, and boundaries without unnecessary intrusion. Peace, in this context, is not just the absence of conflict, but a state of internal calm, security, dignity, and freedom. When we explore the connection between privacy and peace, we begin to understand how essential it is to maintain personal space, mentally, emotionally, physically, and digitally, to ensure a stable and undisturbed life. Privacy allows people to think freely. Our thoughts, dreams, doubts, and decisions often emerge in the quiet corners of our minds. When individuals feel that their thoughts are being watched or judged, a psychological tension builds up. This tension disrupts the flow of natural thinking and creativity, which are essential to feeling mentally at peace. Knowing that we have a private inner space where we can explore ideas without scrutiny is fundamental to our peace of mind. Without privacy, individuals become cautious, guarded, and anxious. They start filtering their thoughts, speech, and behavior, leading to stress and discomfort. Privacy also plays a vital role in our relationships. People need boundaries to form healthy bonds in close relationships, whether with friends, partners, or family. Privacy allows individuals to retain a sense of identity and autonomy. It creates respect and trust. Constant surveillance, prying, or intrusion can weaken relationships by causing resentment, fear, or a feeling of suffocation. When boundaries are violated, peace is often lost. It creates a space of control, mistrust, and emotional instability. Respecting someone's privacy sends the message that they are trusted, valued, and free. This enhances the quality of human connections and builds emotional stability. In the digital age, privacy extends to personal data. Every click, like, search, and transaction leaves a trail. Tech companies, advertisers, and sometimes governments collect this data to analyze and influence behavior. While this might seem efficient or even harmless, the psychological impact of being watched continuously can be profound. When people feel they are always under a digital microscope, their sense of freedom decreases. They may avoid certain topics, suppress their interests, or behave in ways that don't reflect their true selves. This constant self-censorship chips away at individual peace. Digital privacy helps people explore, express, and evolve freely without fear of judgment or manipulation. Privacy also protects individuals from harm. Information, when in the wrong hands, can be used to exploit, blackmail, or manipulate people. If someone knows your financial records, health status, or private conversations, they could easily use this to cause distress. Imagine the fear and anxiety of someone whose personal life has been exposed without consent. This leads not only to emotional chaos, but also a breakdown in the sense of safety. Peace cannot exist in an atmosphere of vulnerability or threat. Privacy shields people from these threats by ensuring that their personal information is handled with care and respect. It builds a sense of control over one's environment. In broader societal terms, Privacy is essential for democracy and freedom. It allows people to dissent, to criticize power, and to challenge injustice without fear of punishment. When people know they can speak freely without being tracked or punished, they engage more actively in society. On the other hand, in societies where privacy is denied, people live in fear, conform to norms, and suppress their beliefs. This creates a false sense of harmony on the outside, but hides a boiling anxiety beneath. A peaceful society is one where people feel safe not just from violence but from unwarranted scrutiny. When privacy is respected, people participate more openly, innovate more freely, and trust their institutions more deeply. Children and young people especially need privacy to develop a strong sense of self. As they grow, they need the freedom to make mistakes, explore ideas, and form their identity. Excessive monitoring or control during these formative years can hinder emotional growth, leading to fear and confusion. Giving children privacy shows them that they are trusted. It helps them develop confidence and inner balance. It also teaches them to respect others' privacy, building a peaceful, considerate society from the ground up. In professional environments, privacy protects both employees and employers. When workers know that their personal data, messages, or activities are being watched excessively, it creates a culture of mistrust. It reduces morale, increases stress, and discourages innovation. Workplaces that respect boundaries tend to have healthier environments where peace, productivity, and mutual respect thrive. Even simple things, like respecting someone's personal space or not listening in on private conversations, contribute to a peaceful work atmosphere. Privacy is also crucial for healing. People going through grief, trauma, or stress need time and space to process their emotions. Unwanted attention or interference can make their pain worse. Peace during difficult times often comes from silence, solitude, and the ability to choose who to talk to and when. Privacy offers the shelter people need to recover emotionally. It allows people to cry, reflect, and gather strength away from the noise of the world. In relationships with governments or institutions, privacy is a form of empowerment. It prevents abuse of power. When surveillance is unchecked, it can lead to control, manipulation, and fear. Citizens start fearing their governments instead of trusting them. True peace in a nation comes from transparency in power and privacy for the people, not the other way around. It maintains a balance where both security and freedom can coexist. In the spiritual sense, privacy helps individuals connect deeply with themselves. Meditation, prayer, reflection, all these acts of inner peace require silence and solitude. No matter one's belief system, moments of stillness often come when no one is watching, judging, or interrupting. These private rituals and thoughts create meaning, purpose, and strength. Without privacy, such peace would be harder to access. Even in art, creativity, and innovation, privacy is essential. The best ideas are often born in solitude. Artists, writers, inventors, many of them find inspiration when they are alone. This private space is not a withdrawal from the world, but a fertile ground for expression. Interruptions, exposure, or judgment too early in the process can kill creativity. Peace fuels creation, and privacy protects that peace. Ultimately, privacy is more than a legal right. It is a human need. It is the space in which individuals can breathe, think, feel, grow, and be. It preserves dignity, builds trust, and protects from harm. Without it, peace is fragile. With it, peace has a foundation. The more connected our world becomes, the more important it is to preserve privacy, not just as a protection from others, but as a gift to ourselves. When our thoughts are our own, our data is secure, and our boundaries are respected, we can live more freely, more confidently, and more peacefully. Privacy protects peace because it lets us be fully and safely ourselves. "Don't share personal life with anyone" is a phrase that carries significant meaning in the context of emotional boundaries, trust, self-preservation, and the dynamics of modern relationships. At its core, this statement suggests caution and discretion in revealing personal experiences, emotions, thoughts, or struggles to others. It doesn't imply living in isolation or being cold, but encourages awareness about who deserves access to the most sensitive parts of our lives. This idea has grown increasingly relevant in a world where oversharing is not only normalized but often encouraged, especially on social media platforms and in casual conversations where depth of connection might not match the depth of disclosure. Sharing personal details can feel relieving or empowering at times, but when done without care, it can lead to consequences that are difficult to reverse. The first and most basic issue is that not everyone you encounter has the right intentions. People may seem friendly, sympathetic, or trustworthy at first, but time often reveals hidden motives or character traits. When you open up about your private life too soon or too easily, you give others tools they can use for their benefit or against you. Information can be twisted, repeated, or used to influence opinions about you in social or professional circles. This creates unnecessary stress and vulnerability, and it can deeply affect how you're perceived or treated. Trust is a slow, building and fragile bond. When you share personal matters with someone who hasn't earned your trust, you risk more than just embarrassment. You risk your mental peace. Many people suffer emotionally because they place their trust in the wrong hands. They spoke their truth to someone who gossiped, judged, laughed, or betrayed them. Once something deeply personal is out in the open, it's impossible to pull it back. The damage may be done quietly, behind your back, or it may come back to you years later in ways you never expected. Even those who seem kind might not have the emotional maturity to handle your pain or private experiences with the care they deserve. People often share their personal lives seeking empathy, validation, or a sense of connection. While these are natural human needs, the reality is that most people are preoccupied with their own lives, worries, and dramas. They may listen out of curiosity rather than compassion. Others might offer advice without understanding the full picture, leading to confusion rather than clarity. And sometimes, what you share becomes entertainment, a topic for casual talk or subtle judgment. This happens not necessarily because people are cruel, but because many are careless with what they hear. They don't carry the weight of your truth with the seriousness it deserves. Keeping personal matters private allows you to process your experiences fully and on your own terms. When something painful or meaningful happens, your first instinct should be to reflect and understand, not to broadcast. Sharing too early or too widely can dilute the experience or distract you from what it means to you. It may shift your focus to how others respond rather than how you truly feel. Your life is your journey, and not every chapter needs an audience. Sometimes, the most powerful growth happens in silence, away from opinion and noise. Another reason not to share your personal life too openly is that it sets boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining respect and emotional safety. When people know too much, they often feel entitled to comment, intervene, or make assumptions. They may start to treat you based on what they know rather than who you are in the moment. This can trap you in an old version of yourself or make you feel misunderstood. When you keep your life private, you maintain control over how you're seen and treated. You preserve your ability to choose what parts of yourself you want to share, when and with whom. There's also a subtle strength in being silent about your personal life. It creates an aura of self-respect and independence. People admire those who are composed, private, and not driven by the need to be seen or heard constantly. Such individuals often command quiet respect because they seem in control of their emotions and lives. They don't seek validation or attention through their experiences. Instead, they choose to walk through life with dignity and restraint. This doesn't mean being closed off, but being selective. When you don't share everything, people are less likely to interfere, judge, or take you for granted. In relationships, whether romantic or platonic, discretion often builds trust faster than overexposure. When you hold your personal life with care, others learn to treat you with care. If you overshare quickly, especially with someone you're still getting to know, it might signal desperation, impulsiveness, or emotional instability. Relationships are healthiest when they grow gradually, with vulnerability revealed step by step. Oversharing early on can create imbalance. It may scare the other person away, or worse, It may give them control over parts of your life they haven't earned access to. By guarding your personal experiences, you protect your emotional investment and create a space where mutual trust can truly grow. Social media has blurred the lines between public and private life. People are encouraged to post their highs, lows, struggles, and achievements for the world to see. While this can foster community and connection, it often invites judgment, envy, criticism, or exploitation. The more people know about your life, the more they feel entitled to form opinions, offer unsolicited advice, or even sabotage you. Some may pretend to care while secretly resenting your happiness or using your vulnerability to feel better about their own situation. When you keep personal things offline, you protect your emotional energy and shield yourself from people who don't have your best interests at heart. Sometimes, even well-meaning people can become a source of stress when they know too much. They may bring up topics you'd rather forget or constantly ask questions you're not ready to answer. This happens not out of malice, but because you gave them access. The more you share, the more involved others may become in things they don't fully understand. This can add pressure and make you feel like you have to manage not only your life, but also other people's reactions to it. Silence in this case is not secrecy, it is strategy. It allows you to live peacefully without the burden of expectations, opinions, or unnecessary involvement. Life is full of ups and downs, and some lessons are meant to be learned privately. There is wisdom in handling your struggles without broadcasting them. People may pity you today and use it against you tomorrow. They may cheer for your success and then resent it quietly. The fewer people who know about your challenges and victories, the more secure your peace. When you protect your inner world, you reduce the chances of being misunderstood, misjudged, or emotionally manipulated. Not sharing your personal life doesn't mean being emotionally numb or refusing support. It means choosing carefully. It means speaking when the person listening is worthy of your truth, when the space is safe, and when the moment feels right. It means knowing that your life is sacred and not everyone deserves a front row seat to it. Emotional intelligence includes knowing when to stay silent, when to speak, and whom to trust. The more you practice discretion, the more power and peace you gain. In every culture and generation, wise people have warned about the dangers of talking too much or revealing too much. There is a reason for that. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. Stories once shared are no longer fully yours. People may remember them, repeat them, or reshape them. By keeping your personal life private, you remain the author and editor of your own story. You decide what gets published and what remains in draft form. This control brings clarity, calm, and confidence. Ultimately, life becomes simpler when you stop explaining yourself to everyone. You don't owe your story to strangers, coworkers, acquaintances, or even all your friends. You don't have to justify your choices, reveal your wounds, or prove your happiness. Peace comes from living on your own terms with a private world that belongs only to you. In that space, you can breathe freely, think clearly, and grow authentically. Sharing less doesn't mean you care less. It means you care more about your peace, your energy, and your worth. There is immense strength in knowing that your most valuable stories are safe within you, untouched by noise, free from distortion, and guarded by your own wisdom.